Did he talk to you?
No, he hasn't talked to me. The next time I see him, I'll have to stop in and ask him about what's...
Eric.
Yeah. Yeah, his wife's he was pretty sick. But then she was back to work again the other day. I seen her at work, so...
She's going through their business.
All right. Approval of May 2nd, 2000 regular meeting minutes.
All I can say is I wasn't here, so, and I'm listed as being present.
Other than that,
Other than that, since I wasn't here, I can't comment on that.
I'll make a motion that we approve the amended minutes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion or corrections? If not, all those in favor signify by aye. Opposed? Carried. Approval of the docket. I have one item that an 8A, which would be a letter of endorsement for that's the depot project.
yes.
Okay.
8.
A. Yeah.
I just got 5. I got 1, 2, 4 dots.
Oh, we have 8 and 8.
Oh, I know. I changed mine to 9, so
That's
make
a
it 9,
bonus
10, and 11.
It's
It's a bonus 8.
This evening's is
Call it
sorry
bonus
about
8.
that, yeah.
Okay.
It's now a 9, 10, 11.
The second 8 should be a 9.
Yes. And then 10 and
You want
11.
this as 8A.
Yeah, 8A.
I've got 3 little things to bring up under other business.
All right. Anybody else have any merit? Anything else? Anybody?
I got a bunch of stuff under updates, so we can talk about that.
Okay. Need a motion to approve the docket.
So moved.
Second.
Here.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right. Citizens wishing to address the committee on items on the agenda. 3-minute limit. Anybody? Nope.
Just a question. When you have other business, is that considered on the agenda items? Or
That's other. That's not on the agenda.
so then if I want to talk, I can talk on the next
Yes.
about that? Okay.
Right, not on other business, but on agenda items not on the agenda.
Agenda.
Items not on the agenda. That's when you want to talk.
So these items that they bring up
Other
later
businesses for the committee members,
Other-
citizens wishing.
is
Right,
before
on
that.
Yeah.
It's just
So,
before that.
Yeah, the one before that. The other business is just us, but
okay, thank you.
then on something that isn't on the agenda, you can.
It's interesting. Thank you.
But there's 3-minute limit.
Right.
Item 9. Okay.
Okay, move on. Brainstorming potential members. I talked to one person, but they didn't come around, so and I thought she had somebody else, but seeing Eric hasn't heard anything, so.
I talked to
guess
one
all
other
that-
person who's interested, but is sort of mulling it over, so we'll see. Hopefully.
There's currently an opening on
Planning.
Parks and Rec, Planning Commission, and the DIDA.
Correct.
Then I would submit that it's a waste of our time to be sitting here brainstorming this. This is obviously something that the city needs to get together and start brainstorming. It's not a Parks and Rec. It's not limited to just us.
Well, no, but you guys
This is a
might
big,
have an
I
idea
know
who might
that, I
want to
know
serve.
that. But my point is there's a problem in the city with getting people to volunteer for these groups. There's a huge problem with communication, PR, accurate information getting out, and the city needs to sit down and figure out what they're going to do about that. And yes, obviously we all try to get somebody for the groups that we're on. But
Any other ideas for the good of the cause? People
Not offhand. I
that
don't.
approach
I contacted Rod Smith, or well, I tried to contact him, but he hasn't gotten back as of yet.
Well, if you hear anybody put, word in their ear or whatever. Marion, do you have an email address?
Yeah.
Would you give that to Merritt when the meeting is over? Because what we want to do instead of is saving money and time, instead of sending out paper, we're going to send the agendas by email.
Is that okay with everyone?
It's fine with me.
I'd rather.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you, Merritt?
I think so. Let's give it a try.
Let's give it a
Let's
try.
give it a try and see how that
See
works.
how it
We're
works.
trying to do that with the other committees as well.
Yeah. And if you're on your computer a lot and so forth, then you'll pick up stuff quicker.
Yeah, and the thing is,
Well, let's give it a try.
and the thing is
I'll give you my address.
seeing Merritt is busy and overworked at times. This way here, instead of doing how many separate,
Well-
he just does it once and it's gone to
Well,
everybody.
somebody good at doing those mailings.
Yeah.
Jane used to.
Yeah, she was good at that. Okay, we'll move on to 7, discuss and consider recommend Curry Park campground fees. Well, the other day when we were, I don't know, I was down at the Blue Bus terminal office, whatever you want to call it, and I was talking to some lady there, and she happened to be either caretaker or manager presently or in the past, I can't remember that part of it, of the Sunday Lake Campground. And I asked her, I said, well, geez, that campground's just full of just locals, isn't it? She said, oh no, most of the people, that over half are overnight stays, you know, to come in off the road. And it's like, really? Wow, I didn't think it was that many people. Then we got discussing about when they get filled and that they send them to Sanders outside of Wakefield, or Besmer, between Besmer and Wakefield, or out to Frontier Bar campground. I knew the answer, but I just had to ask anyway. Well, why is that? She said the same thing we all know, is that the electrical at Curry Park cannot handle the new campers and people won't stay there. And then I asked too, because the biggest thing is to dump a trailer. Say you're driving by or staying there and you want to dump your trailer, it's $20. Anywhere else it's $5. I think that's like way out of line.
$20 here.
Yeah, versus $5 everywhere else. Okay, you know, you got your holding tanks, your septic tank on your trailer, and your dishwasher. Yeah, so to empty it, we charge $20, everybody else charges $5, and I think we need to get in line with everybody else.
Well, I would. What's the capability of the? Is that for us to run down, or for the park manager to do some inquiry on and present some
Well, I
alternatives to
think
us
we
here?
should. I think it's just that we're making a recommendation to the city commission that we need to look at the fees charged at Curry Park, and that they need to look. I don't know if we can get. We tried to write a grant once for upgrading electrical, and that fell through. So I don't know how else we can. Because right now the park is pretty much useless for any of the new rigs.
What's the occupancy rate?
Right now, I don't know, but it's not going to be what it should be because you can't. Basically, because
I'd like to know what the occupancy rate is. I'd like to know, is this budget neutral as it is right now?
Yeah,
Are the fees that we're getting covering the expense of it, or are we losing money? Or
What are the fees?
well, I think the fees for staying there aren't that bad. I don't think, but just the dumping fee is the one that really is turning people off for one.
But, you know, what is a motorhome fee, what is a
It's down.
fifth wheel, and what is
Yeah.
just car camping?
Well, I think it's.
And I'd like to know
I don't
what
think
the cycling-
motorhome or anything. I think how it's based on is, are you camping just by yourself is one fee, with electric's another fee, and then if you want electric, water, and sewer, that's another fee. That's how that usually. That's how that goes. And the problem we're having there is, I don't think Curry Park makes money. It's either just barely breaks even or loses money. But the biggest reason I think that is because if you go in there in a motorhome or a new fifth wheeler or a travel trailer, a big one, and you plug in, you go turn your TV on, throw your satellite dish on, flip your air on, and out goes electric.
It needs updating.
It needs updating. So now you have this person that is not happy because they can't run all their stuff. So then when they go to the next campground down the road and people talk, well, don't stay in Ironwood because you can't run your equipment.
And they're only telling the truth.
And they're only, right, but what I'm getting at is they're losing money because they're not, but you know what I'm saying?
is there a group of people that's looking for a more rustic camping experience where the electrical hookup would not be an issue?
They had that there too.
$10 basically.
But I think basically what we're looking at down there is the majority of what you see down there are the fifth wheelers and travel trailers.
How is the management of of Curry Park? Do they have an attendant there
They have,
every day, at least part of the day or
no,
something?
somebody's there all the time. I think what it is, there's a campground host, I think, who spends the summer there,
Right.
and they get free, I'm guessing,
They get a free
camping,
campsite.
but they take care of checking everybody in, collecting the fees, turning it into the city.
Well, you know, it seems to me like it's about like falling off a rock, coming up with a daily count, a number of units occupied. I don't know, number of people, something like that.
Sure. So we can bring that to you at the next meeting.
Yeah.
The next meeting, we'll have some more information.
And
Like 2010.
I think that's what you're talking about, Steve.
Right,
It's
and
basically nuts and bolts.
also, I guess, how much these other campgrounds are charging.
Right, we gotta find out
Yeah.
to get in line with everybody
Now,
else.
this person may or may not be in a position or to be contacting other campgrounds and stuff like that around.
But we're not going to worry. Not going to bother the hosts of the camp.
No, we'll take care of it in our own way, we'll get it.
Just the ability of, the interest of, the
And I guess
logistics of it.
also, what would the cost be for maintenance if we were to close it?
Can't close it.
Well, why not? I'm saying if we look at this and we go, look, it's losing
They
$1,000 a year, but if we closed it, it's still going to cost us $5,000 a year to do minimal maintenance on it as far as grass mowing or
See, I
whatever.
think they tried
Know
to,
that.
a few years ago, was it, within the last 5 or 10 years, they tried to close it and they can't because that Curry Park was donated to the city as Curry Park from the Curry family. And there's some kind of contract in there that states this has got to, it's a complicated thing from what I understand.
Well, I'm not saying this, I'm not saying cut down everything and sell it off to somebody, but not having camping there, if that's an issue. Like I said, I'd like to see where it comes in our budget.
It's all good.
As long as we're breaking even or only losing a little bit, then it's,
Well, that's
it's
right.
something that we have for Ironwood.
Right.
That
But we
offer.
might be losing, like
We're
I'm
taking
saying,
a bath on
because
it.
we're missing out on a lot of people staying there because they can't stay there.
Right.
So it,
But if we don't have the money to upgrade, then we're kind of...
well, yeah, they
It's
were
not
kind of.
real grant friendly. I mean, maybe approaching the electric contractors in the.
The
in
biggest
city
thing, I
about-
guess,
about
is to
putting something
contact
together.
just one of the electrical contractors. What we need before, maybe for the next meeting, is I'll talk to Linquist or somebody and just have them give us a ball.
We already have an estimate on it. I
Oh,
don't
do
remember
we?
what it is, but I can get that for you.
All right.
We got an estimate done on it a couple of years ago.
How do people find out about it? What advertising
I think,
do we do?
I don't know
How
if
does-
that's another good question. Are we in any travel books or campground books or
I'd be surprised.
RV books, stuff
It's
like
also,
that?
it's not in the, just, to me, it's not in the best location. I mean, Wakefield's going to win. They've got
Well,
a
because they
lake.
got a link, yeah.
We're right off the highway with no lake. So it's kind of,
But then again,
know.
there's only so many camp spots and when that's
right.
filled.
So if we're,
Right, if we get upgraded, but there's a lot of stuff, but that's why I brought this up here, just
Yeah.
for discussion and get some good information and before we got somewhere to start going forward
so
on this.
let's have some numbers to work with for the next
All right.
meeting then.
So what I thought what are the fees? Well, you saw the city fee schedule. What are the occupancy rates? Do we break even, make money, lose money? How much are other campgrounds charging? What if we close? What are the kind of opportunity costs of that? And then what does it cost to fix it? And I can track down that estimate we got. I think it was from Linquist.
Why shouldn't that be included as part of the fairgrounds?
Because it's fairgrounds is county and then city.
Wouldn't that be an option somewhere down the road to
Okay.
give it to the county, to the county fair board, they've got all the horse people that come in for the fairs and the carny people and
Well,
stuff.
the county don't have enough money to keep the fairgrounds going, so it's like,
Well, they got enough money to do a lot of things.
Yeah, but
The
that's a
county's
good
got lot
point.
of
Does it
money.
look better with a county applying for a grant ever to upgrade the electric on it? No matter? No difference?
Or the available grant sources and the type of...
Because they tried to, here's another point, they expanded and added more electrical hookups on the dirt road going
right,
into
I don't know
the
when that
fairgrounds.
was, how long ago that was, but I don't even know if there's
On the
power
west
to
side.
them, is there?
Yeah, on the west side on that
Is
gravel
there even
road.
any power to those poles anymore?
I'm not sure, but fair time is huge and there's all those horse people and stuff, and I think they take advantage of those electrical hookups
They
on that
might.
gravel road.
That's the one time, they're only used once a year, if they're used,
Yeah,
and I mean, it's
possibly,
like,
yeah.
so it's like,
Is there the Ironwood Theater has an organization that works around it. The Civic Center has an organization which presumably puts together planning, maintenance, and so forth. Is there anything at all other than a manager who reports to somebody? Is the manager or the host? Is there a Curry Park committee?
There's no Friends of the Curry Park.
Friends of the Curry Park. No.
There's nothing like that.
No. Who does the
Curry Park
manager
has
report
no
to? You know on that?
To the city, to the
Who's?
Parks and Neil Corcoran.
Neil Corcoran,
I
probably.
suppose to whom?
Neil Corcoran,
Who is his role is what? The recreation,
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Recreation on the city.
Half of his time goes to Parks and Rec.
Yeah,
Okay.
for maintenance on Parks and.
Well, maybe some of this will fall on our shoulders until some kind of a structure gets up. Maybe it should, Sam.
Well, I
It'll fall
think
on our shoulders to help
no-
get things
Right, but
things
Marion,
going.
the Civic Center is one thing because you have skating, you have an activity at the theater. There's no real activity at the Curry Park. It's just a campground.
Well,
I just can't see a bunch of people say, "Whoa, let's take on Curry
well,
Park."
I agree with you, and in the absence of that, certainly the campground host needs a group. Maybe it's a recreation committee, our group, to work with them in some of the nuts and bolts details. I don't know what's going to come up, but we definitely need some input. And Steve hit it right on the
Well,
head.
we did go down and talk to them 2 years ago, and he did a tour. Brian, I don't know if you were on that. No, you weren't on that, but a bunch of us were in the blue bus and we went and checked all the parks.
Yeah.
And we went to Curry Park, and that's the first thing they told us is that the power is.
Looking-
That's why
I
nobody's staying
guess
there.
it doesn't make sense to keep discussing this
No,
until we
it's just until we get more information.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, let's move on to project updates. 5-year park recreation status report.
So June 13 is the end of the 30-day public review period. There will be a public hearing then, if that's your pleasure, is to go ahead, the City Commission go ahead and put it on their agenda for the 27th. That would be their second regular meeting in June.
Go right ahead.
Okay. And so there'll be a public hearing, and then once they close the public hearing, they can go into regular session and consider taking action to adopt and approve the plan for the city.
Sounds good.
what date the public hearing will be? And then on what date?
June 27th.
June
And I
27th.
assume it would be before 5:30 at some time. We haven't locked in a time. Their normal meeting starts at 5:30, and usually if they have a public hearing, they'll put it at 5:15 or something like that.
Now, is that Monday then? Monday, June
That's a
27th?
Monday, right?
And at the same time, the city commission.
It'll be
It would be
before.
before the city commission meeting, which regularly starts at 5:30. Instead, it would start at maybe 5:15. I'm not sure. We'll get the agenda out, but
And the 5-year plan will be the subject of that June 27th
public hearing.
public hearing. Okay.
Okay, railroad grade technical work group. Did anybody bring maps to that?
Oh, you missed the meeting. That's right.
Yeah, I was on it.
Yeah, there's some maps were brought along. Just to sketch where we are with that. That's an effort to bring both abandoned railroad grades into full public recreational use from the state line to east of Wakefield. The old Sioux line, which is envisioned for future non-motorized use, it looks like the appraisals have gone through with the DNR's Trailway Acquisition Program, and that from the state line to the middle of Bessemer, where the old Sioux line actually stops, will be purchased sometime later this year. I think that's going to happen.
Wow.
And then a small working group, a subgroup of that Railroad Grade Technical Working Group, or ERG-TWIG, it's an exciting acronym, subgroup has stitched together a series of spurs to continue the non-motorized line from the middle of Bessemer to the other side of Wakefield. That's a work in progress, but it looks like the work will be done by early August, with the idea of going back then to the DNR Trailway Acquisition folks to move that piece forward and hopefully get that started this year as well. What I think of as the southern grade in the city of Ironwood, I know they sort of swap places as you head east, but the old Chicago and Northwestern grade, that's more of a legal strategy where the DNR and the AG's, the Attorney General's office in Lansing, are working to prove that it's been in continuous use for public recreation for well over 15 years. We have the documentation put together to show that. Let's just say lighting a fire out of the AG's office is part of the strategy, and then also pursuing, in case that doesn't work out with the folks in the state capitol, pursuing a local effort. Perhaps the county could hold the prescriptive easement. I know these different legal instruments that get involved, but this could be a local strategy rather than a state one. So we're pursuing both tracks, no pun intended, at the same time, with the theory that one or the other is going to work, and maybe we can move a little faster up here than they do down in Lansing.
Mayor, are you, with all that's going on this thing, are you able to keep your head straight on what seems to be evolving on?
And that's never been the goal of mine.
The 2 8s, didn't you?
Well, I'll take my hat off.
There's no additional charge for that. But yeah, absolutely. I think the group has done a really good job, and you've got the motorized and the non-motorized working together and making progress on both of the grades. So I'm excited about that. So hopefully we'll see both grades in 2011, non-motorized half of it, the motorized all of it, get into full public recreational use. That would be really exciting.
Yeah.
That'll be just wonderful.
Yeah. The Norrie Park Playground Equipment Grant, I shouldn't have put that on there. That was another one of my keeping my head straight. Basically, November 1, we should know more. They've come back to us at the staff level and asked for a slightly modified vicinity map that we sent them, and they were happy. I think they asked for something else. But basically, they're at a point. I mean, they've gotten really good actually over the years. They used to be the kind of thing where if you sent it in, they found one thing wrong,
you're done.
They round filed your grant application, and now they go back to you and say, "Can you send us a better map?" And that's much better.
Yeah, I don't know what they used to do.
Right. The animal pet waste ordinance. The city commission has had a lot on their plate lately. They had a 108-page docket for their most recent meeting. I think July, if that's okay with you guys, would be a good time to put that on their agenda.
Whenever it fits.
Right, because they got budget coming to finalize in June, with July 1 being the beginning of the new fiscal year. And let's see what else here. And then Steve, I gave you that draft there. What I'm thinking is we were talking about the park master plans or mini master plans that we're going to do for each of the parks. We're going to do 2 or 3 a year. If we can do more than 2, great. If we can't, at least do 2. That's our goal and our plan. But maybe Steve and I could develop kind of a template for that.
Okay.
How we could go about doing that, and then bring it back to the group and identify a couple, and we'll give it a try.
Yeah, pick a couple.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Pick a couple, Steve. You're in charge.
Okay.
It's your project.
But we could, maybe Steve, you and I could grab our calendars and meet next week sometime or something, just hammer it out and come up with something that works real well.
Is there anything from the Civic Center on any detailed plan or planning that's come to your attention here yet?
I'm helping them write grants as they come up with cost estimates. The last I had heard, they're still waiting to get cost estimates.
Okay.
That's kind of where it is.
A month, maybe 2 months ago, I forget, I had to pop in there, and there was 2 or 3 fellas from someplace.
Yeah, they've talked to a couple of different contractors.
And there was at least 2 different sources for information that would... So the Civic Center is still mulling that over, and
as soon as they come up with some
waiting on
specific,
maybe waiting on information from them.
Basically, getting proposals from those contractors and or vendors for specific things they can do to upgrade the ice making capacity. Yep.
I talked to Brian a little bit and encouraged him to pursue as many different options or opinions on the repairs that need to be made. I said, don't take just one estimate from, I said, I talked to the rink manager up in Duluth at the Heritage Center, and he gave me a lead on a guy in Virginia, Minnesota, who apparently goes around the country and does consulting and puts in refrigeration systems. And so I gave him that contact number. I said, don't take his word alone. I said,
yeah.
And
so Jim Collins might be probably a good one to contact. I think he's been kind of a focal point for some of this.
I guess
I think they're getting on the internet
Get as many ideas
and
as
get
you
as
can.
many possibilities out there, and with the new technologies coming into effect seems like every year there's a new, more efficient compressors and refrigeration and so on and so forth. So hopefully they're heading in that right direction on that.
Okay, any other project updates?
That's all I got, unless you got some questions.
Any other questions? Project updates? Okay, letter of endorsement. This is just a letter of endorsement for the depot project from Parks and Rec. And this letter was basically sent over by Leanne Darski, who's in charge of the depot project.
Actually, Ned, I think you probably
Or Annette might have done it.
confabulated the language on this.
I'm just,
Treat it as kind of-
You're our committee member, right?
Downtown Park Development Enhancement. Okay.
Surrounding park acreage, third
Where's
paragraph, first line.
You know, that may be as important a project that the downtown DIDA gets involved in as anything that I've seen here. That this thing right here, and I don't follow them that closely. Pretty well what I read in the paper, but getting that set up here as a place for people to stop and recreate and come in.
So we just need a motion to,
This here.
Second to the last paragraph.
Improvements.
I think I know what you mean, but you mean we're taking the unpolished jewel and we're polishing it?
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Just take out unpolished,
Yeah.
make it the jewel that it is. Or
Could
Well,
be.
Or the jewel
it
that-
isn't,
that
so
it
we
could
can't make it what it is.
that it should be, that it could
That
be.
it should be, that it, sure, how something
Yeah,
needs to
just
be.
something got to be changed to make it,
So give me some words.
make the
there.
Ironwood Depot Park the jewel that it should be.
A showcase
Like make the Ira Downtown Depot Park shine as the jewel.
and a positive and welcome light.
But
it ain't a jewel yet.
Could be.
So that-
Well, we
yeah.
can change the
course,
verbiage too,
okay.
not a problem.
I guess just basically, we'll take care of changing the verbiage, it's just we need a motion just to approve that we do a
And the
letter of
knowledge.
support.
And the noun-
Yeah.
Prepositions we can leave up to you, or?
Yeah.
Prepositionage?
Well, we may not need two downtown words because we always got the first one, and that may be adequate on that. The improvements that are planned will truly make the Ironwood Downtown Depot Park the showcase, or make the park to showcase the beautiful, not the historic downtown in a positive and welcome light, something like that. It may cut
The
down
improvements
a
that are
little
planned
verbiage.
will make the Ironwood Downtown Depot Park shine like the jewel that it is. It is a jewel, it's just unpolished, we need to make it shine. Shine
Whatever.
like the,
Like,
I think
I don't like it could be, because then it implies that it's like crap
I
now.
remember that, yeah.
But
And make the Ira Downtown Depot Park shine like the jewel that it is.
because you got the light in the last part of that.
Do we even need to refer to it as a
Well, you just had a
jewel?
nice metaphor going here. I hate to lose it, but
I'd like to see some words, basically some words cut out and keep it, maybe makes it a little bland, but that's not bad.
diamond in the rough.
The unpolished jewel.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Whack some words out of the way, and I think
Like I said, we just need a motion to
It is an
approve the...
unpolished jewel.
Right now.
Yeah.
I've been inside upstairs and wow, They got junk up there, and upstairs the Historical Society doesn't know what to do with it
Hell,
all.
they might find a diamond there in the rough, you never know.
Baseball glove and an old baseball bat.
That's another. What is going on with the Historical Society?
Just joined, but I haven't been to a meeting, so I can't.
Hey, I remember too. We're twins.
But, you know, they need some guides on weekends to help staff it for, you know, for visitors that may be coming into town.
Because I know it wasn't open at all Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, apparently they open after Memorial Day, so there's only like 5 or 6 people that do the guides.
But I mean, but the chamber office wasn't open either. There was nothing there.
It's supposed to be open now, I believe, every weekend, and if it's not on Sundays, I'll probably be there myself.
All right, so we just need a motion to approve the letter of...
I so moved.
All right, and a second. And then,
I'll second.
okay, and then we'll take care of getting it spelled out and done right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, citizens wishing to address the committee on items not on the agenda. 3-minute limit. Anybody? Nobody? Kim? Okay. You're up, Steve.
I'm up, huh? Okay, 3 things. I noticed quite a bit of litter at the skate park, and there is a garbage can right there. Quite a bit of litter. I would guess.
Inside the skate park?
No, on the grounds of the skate park, in the little, by the picnic table and the rocks and all that. I'm assuming that public safety is doing periodic stops over there when there's kids there. I could be my guess. I'd like to request, I mean, in a friendly way. This isn't a heavy-handed thing, but the whole move in recent decades has been to, you know, community policing and all that, get to know people and all that. I don't think it's asking too much of an officer to go there when there's kids there. They should be trying to strike up and know who these kids are. It helps them do their job. And while they're at it, kind of mention, hey guys, you know, there's a lot of stuff on the ground here. Let's help out and let's get this picked up.
I've been...
In a friendly way. We don't need to be
just
kicking people out or anything, but...
I know I was by there a couple times and it was nice and clean, but I'm just wondering, we've had so much wind over the last week that it might have just
But like I said, all
blew it in or blew it out of the cans or whatever.
It's
but
setting an
you're right, it should
example
get-
as a police officer and authority figure that
Go down
just,
and
you know,
talk nice and just ask if
that's
they
right.
can-
So not a heavy-handed thing.
No, just
There's
could
been
you
very
please
few
police up
problems
the
there.
area?
So
Yeah.
that's all. That's a
Take 5 minutes and everybody go and grab garbage.
Exactly, and again, it's community policing. That's how it's.
Does public safety officers keep a diary or log of other activities
Yes.
that can be reviewed by perhaps the city manager, chief public safety, and so forth, in a monthly report to the commission on activities?
I don't think you
But, you know,
Commission gets it when they ask for it, but the detailed reports are kept on virtually everything that they do.
so
Right.
you know, the fact that they are occasionally drop in would reflect in the report. Dropped in at Curry Park, dropped in at the skateboard park, you know, of this. I don't know how the reports are made up, what kind of detail. I know when I worked for the Forest Service, we kept the diary down to 15 minutes.
At least in the summertime, that's when all the activity.
I know a few years ago they were doing bike patrols and all that, and trying to be more and more visible downtown. Personally, that's pointless. At this point, if you hang out in our downtown at night, it's dead. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a ghost town.
It's a ghost
okay,
town.
so that I'm not saying that they need to start doing that, but that is the one place where you do have a congregation of people, and there should be a periodic police contact over there. And then again, just as a friendly way, set an example, and I think that's.
Who knows? They may be doing it. They may be doing just exactly that right now.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right.
Last one?
No, two more.
You said 3.
Yeah,
That was the skate park.
Oh, that was...
Felt
Okay.
like 2.
Go ahead.
You can't count either, obviously.
No, I can't.
That was 8.
That was 8 again.
Once again, Trail 2 from the depot going back to Hurley. The garbage on there, the tires that are dumped there, this is not new news to anybody here. Jim's brought it up at DIDA meetings. I don't know why. If this is a recreational trail, this is supposedly bringing tourists and all that in, it looks like crap to come into our downtown Ironwood. And it's either city property, which means the city, I guess, has to be responsible for cleaning it, or it's the adjacent property that there's obviously they don't care. People are throwing whatever in the dumpster. It moves wherever it goes. There's litter all over there. Once again, I'm tired of picking up other people's crap and then there being no effort to stop it from happening again. And so I'm frustrated. If anybody's got any ideas of, but this is not right.
It's all in the same place.
But that TV that got smashed, it was thrown by the dumpster there, and then it moved up. The tires were initially put by the dumpster, and then those kind of have drifted up, like the owner of the, I don't know, but it looks like he went, oh, they're not going to take these, and we just kind of push them up toward the edge.
That's the apartment building.
Yes,
Right,
all three of those apartments.
Now, all that stuff is coming from
And
the
that
apartment.
dumpster isn't big enough to handle...
That many buildings. So that's probably a code of somewhere. I think that where that dumpster is placed is not in a good location. To me,
So
having...
you're saying what can be done to maintain a clean
Yeah, to
trail?
make that clean
Yes.
trail, and I know one thing as far as that dumpster, like in the winter, I think it's like, isn't it like halfway pushed on the trail almost?
It's right next to it. I think it's in a bad location.
It is. Somebody could get hurt
Yes.
on that thing in the winter, because I mean, it's right.
Is there restrictions on who can dump in a dumpster?
It's not locked, and that's sort of known as the dumpster that people throw their stuff in.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that if people from the apartment buildings are not, it's against rules, to dump in that dumpster, and lo and behold, they are dumping in a dumpster.
Well, no, the dumpster's for the apartment building.
Right.
Oh, we don't know where all the stuff is coming from.
As soon as somebody moves...
Everything
I've
gets
seen
thrown in.
couch. I have actually been amazed at the things that have been taken, by the way, because I would not expect Viola. I think it's their dumpster. I would not expect them to take. I've seen couches thrown,
There was a
put
lot of stuff
chairs and
there
stuff
one
like
time
that.
was really
But
nasty.
right now, it appears that the residents of the apartment building are okay with all the litter blowing around, so they don't care what type of filth they live in. The owner and/or management of those apartment buildings seems to be okay with this, and nobody's encouraging them to change. And it appears that a great many people in the city are totally fine with this, because we just keep passing the buck around. And every time I bring it up, somebody comes up with an excuse of why that person, it shouldn't be their responsibility to deal with it.
Well, that dumpster probably serves two apartment buildings, right? The old Charter Communications studio was in that, in the one closest to the trail. That was the old Charter Communications.
I don't know, is there
cable
apartments
vision.
in that one?
There's three buildings: Picard Place, which is on the corner, the one next to it, and then the one on Air Street.
Well, Pickens is on the corner, and that's an out-of-town landlord. And the building next door is, I'm not sure who.
But they have to have a manager. There's got to be somebody locally that's taking care of this, and at some point the buck stops with somebody, and
Probably
somebody in the city needs to insist that it stops with
dumpster is
somebody.
located.
That's Pickard Place.
Yeah, the owner of the property on where the dumpster is located.
And did
That's
he-
the one that's right next to the building. It used to be the fabric shop, wasn't
And
it?
didn't Pickens get the Pickens place get a city loan to help rehabilitate his apartments? It's part of the revitalization in downtown Ironwood. So there's some responsibility that he has back to the city if he in fact did get one of the revolving loans to fix up that apartment complex.
And this is right across from the depot. Where
Well, sure.
just off,
You look left and you're looking at something that looks pretty cool, and you look right and it
It's
looks
pretty crappy.
pretty
Yes.
crappy.
Yeah.
That's-
I don't know who,
To me, it's a police matter because that's littering, and there's enough of it. It's not like a can that somebody dropped or whatever. There's so much that obviously is either leaking out of that dumpster or being thrown there that to me it would qualify for state littering charges. Which I mean, just go over there, write the citation, and at that point, it's the property owner's responsibility to get ticked off
And
or
then-
pay it or
yeah.
solve the problem.
Is there an ordinance,
Well, you have a
plan?
nuisance ordinance that would cover the litter. You have a blight ordinance, that could cover sort of a situation that's sort of static. in terms
The
of
bottom line is they need a bigger dumpster, and that's going to cost the landlord more money, and that's probably why they stick with
Well,
that.
But I can bring it up
Smaller
at the Monday staff meeting, and
yeah, why don't you do that, and then we'll go from there.
All right, great. Thank you, Nart. And my last thing, then I have a question, because I was unable to make it to the last city commission meeting. I had intended to. I had a last moment emergency come up. So I don't even know what the result of it was. I don't know if you were there or not. The Nori Club requested approval to expand the parking lot or cut down trees or something up by the Nori Club? And does anybody know what the result of...
I thought it was approved.
It was approved. My question then on
North
this...
Park or Nori Club?
Nori
Club.
Club.
North Club. Oh.
They've got kind of
Considering
a
this is-
rickety-tackety parking lot there, and I think
Yeah.
they're looking at just kind of, I don't know, I'm not sure.
Well, this is what I wanted
This is what
to
I
question.
believe.
That area, that's City of Ironwood property. It borders on Randa Field, one of our parks. It borders on the Miners Park, and it borders on the Sisu Ski Trail. So, first of all, why did it ever go to the City Commission without coming to Parks and Rec first? That would have been my first question. Second, they alluded in the letter to they want to turn this into, this is going to help them develop a park to honor the mining heritage at the mine up there. Well, again, now we have the miners people that are working on the same thing, and now we have a private group going to do something on public property. Do you see where I'm going with this? This should have come to us. We can't have, everybody's not going to go up and do their own memorial. And it said something about by expanding this parking lot, it's going to really help with like tourism and all that. We have 2 recycling dumpsters that were there. The area around it was plowed in front of them all winter, so they were pretty much inaccessible. So, again, where's the oversight? I really had questions about this, and I was afraid that it was going to just be kind of, oh yeah, okay, not problem, and just kind of automatically approved. I don't know. They had a map up, but I don't know really what.
There's some brushy stuff there. I don't think they're really cutting big trees. Are they?
There is on the other side of the...
Which is past power lines, which is into the Miners Park. There is a stand of trees that's right next to the field. But again, these are questions that we should have been looking at.
Who's proposing this? You know who they are by name?
The Nori Club is the one they
That's gotta be,
submitted. Rod Smith, I think.
Rod Smith, but I know Rod Smith at some of the meetings talked about working with the miners part about doing this memorial.
They may see it as a parallel kind of effort rather than something that's competing. I don't know.
Right, but we got to get people working together. We can't have everybody just going out with plans.
Yeah,
And I mean, in this area borders on 3 very, very big recreation areas here. So I guess, I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed that nobody on the City Commission looked at that and went, wait a second, this is specifically recreation oriented. Why haven't we heard from Parks and Rec on this?
Floated by us.
Yes.
Yeah, at least let us look at it. I mean, all we can do is make a recommendation, but
So
still would have been nice.
yes. Well, we also would have had an opportunity to ask questions, which would have been helping the City Commission to have more information instead of having to have everything happen at a City Commission meeting like it does.
So are you making a recommendation?
I think I'm making a recommendation that I'd like that, whatever plans there are, to come back to Parks and Rec, and I'd really like to know what's...
Perhaps we should contact Rod Smith and ask what plans he has as he contacted the friends of
And the only trees I can
Club
think
or
of would be on the
trail
east side of the road.
And it was hard to tell on the map of exactly where, and I'm thinking it's between what they're calling the parking lot, which I don't know, anyway, between that and Randa Field. Well, it's a nice little stand of mostly popple in there. I just don't see...
Is it going the other way to the east?
And if it's going to the east, I don't understand it even more. I mean, we just have
I don't know.
I don't know. That's
Well,
exactly.
we
I
need to
don't
get
know. And whoever made up the agenda for the City Commission should have flagged that immediately and said, "Wait a second, that should go to Parks and Recreation first."
That'd
So
be something to bring up at a city staff meeting again.
Yeah.
Granted,
Part
we
of this
don't
is
know-
policy.
We don't know the issue behind it, but exactly, policy shouldn't even have gone to city
No.
commission
Right.
first. It
So,
should perhaps come.
I would,
to
bring it up at a staff meeting to see what they say.
Which you already got a motion on the table, recommended City Commission bring plans back to Park and Rec. Which is what
yes.